Hello and welcome to another AIMTEL webinar. Like I said, my name's Zach. I'm the host for this AIMTEL webinar. We're going to be covering advanced tactics today. I'm going to run through the bare minimum basics just for a couple of minutes, just to get us going, just so we're all on the same page. And then we're going to be jumping straight in. I want to keep this about 20 to 25 minutes today. I like to keep them quite short, quite succinct. I like to, I know there's a lot of stuff that can grab your attention, a lot of content out there, so we appreciate you tuning in, and yeah, looking forward to it. If you have any questions about anything, please feel free to ask away using the GoToWebinar thing in front of you, and yeah, if we manage to get to them today, if not, I will follow up with some emails after. So let's jump straight in. We've got a great beginner's guide. It's got a lot of stuff for beginners, but also a lot of stuff if you're intermediate or anything like that. So this is very, very useful if you've not seen our beginner's guide. Just going to quickly run through it. What are web push notifications? Notifications sent from websites. They go to your desktop, they go to your mobile. The opt-in prompt is sort of the start of the funnel for subscribers. It's one-click opt-in, so very different to SMS and email. And then once you can begin to collect those subscribers through our installation, which is usually a JavaScript tracking code and a service worker file, so 2 steps, that's all it is. You can begin to engage those subscribers down on the bottom left. Like I said, single-click opt-in, personalization, lots and lots of automation, which we're going to be talking a lot about today, which is good. Once you begin to collect those subscribers, you begin to strategize and send them notification. Now, the ones that I've written down in front of me here, the most basic I like to think of are just manual sends and maybe some basic location segmentation. So you begin to bucket people based on where they live and just send all blanket notifications. But as you can see here, there are even a few different strategies and examples: drip notifications, personalized content, timing, all three things we're going to be covering today. Abandoned cart, blog updates, referral requests, all great examples of stuff that you can do. Yeah, and if you've not gotten started with AIMTEL yet, aimtel.com/trial, you can activate your trial. So pretty straightforward stuff there. Got through the basics. Now, advanced tactics with AIMTEL. Now, the most simple way to understand how AIMTEL works is based upon what I like to call the building blocks. And there's about 3 of them, I like to think, and a lot of our more advanced features are built upon these core ways to do things. And so the first one is tracking custom events, tracking custom attributes, and then tracking aliases. Okay, so tracking custom events is like this, done by this sort of tag, which we're going to jump into. And it's worth saying as well, all of this happens after the opt-in prompt here. So when someone clicks allow, that's when all of our additional tags and stuff kick in. So if I was to do stuff, which I know this is an AIMTEL site, a lot of these, they do a lot of different tracking and stuff. So the clicking allow first is very important. So opt-in strategy is something we'll definitely cover towards the end of the webinar. So we click allow and then all of the other stuff comes in. So tracking custom events. Now, the reason why I'm going to be hammering custom events today is it's what everything else is built upon. Tracking custom events is so powerful. There's 3 main uses for events. They're used for triggers, triggered notifications. They're used for conversion tracking, so how to track conversions, how to track it's working. And they're also used for segmentation, i.e. creating buckets for people. So how do they work? Well, custom events are based upon 5 different categories here. So the first 2 are required. So the category and action are both required. This could be page viewed, this could be video watched, notification clicked, whatever it may be, button clicked. Seriously, it's open-ended, and this is one of the real powerful features behind custom events and why they can be used for anything. They're completely open-ended. The label, value, and variables are all optional, and they give that extra layer of granularity, and the variables, which are also extremely powerful, can provide dynamic personalization within actual pushes, and also with segmentation and things like that. So an example for a variable, which I'm going to jump into in a second, is for abandoned cart. How powerful would it be if you could send a push 30 minutes after someone abandons a cart with that exact coffee mug in as the icon, the name of that coffee mug, and the price of that coffee mug, all within a push, dynamically sent. Extremely powerful feature, and that's all to do with our variables and the labels and the values and everything in this. So if we hop in over here to the logs and we go down, a quick shout out to our logs. This is quite an unknown feature as I sort of deal with customers. Everything above logs is sort of close to real time. It's about 3 hours, but that's because we make it look pretty, we make sure it's filtered correctly, but our logs are the raw data. So if you want to see something real time, you go to our logs. I love our logs. Custom events. So if we jump in here we can begin to see some of the things that go in. So I think if we jump to page 4, I think there was some great ones over here. Yeah, here we go. Well, there we are. So form abandoned here. These are just example ones on our test site. You can see that visitor subscribe to push. Here we go. This is the one I wanted to see. So the event category and event action is product viewed. Okay, so these are the two that are required. Everything else is optional and provides an extra layer of granularity. So for instance, this example site is chosen to track the name of the product, which is called premiums. That's the name. It's the sunglasses here. Premiums are the name of the sunglasses. They wanted to track and a value ascribed to it, so 15 or 25. But they also wanted to track some event variables on top of the category, action, label, and value. So for instance, you can see that we've linked the exact product page. We've got the icon, which is a Shopify icon here. So if we were to go to this link, it would actually be, here we go, the actual image of the icon, of the product, and this is the icon, which will cover more how to use these variables in pushes momentarily. But you can see here, this is all done simply from this little piece of JavaScript right here. So here's an example one for video watched. So they don't, in this example, they're not using the label and the value, but they are using the category, action, and the variables. So video watched, right? So this is enough, but they also wanted to pass the name of the video and even the URL of the video. So let's say, for instance, you wanted to, the push was a triggered push saying, okay, this person watched this video. Well, we want a dynamic push to be sent out 2 hours after they've watched it. And in that, we want the name of the video they watched and even linking to maybe a landing page following from that. So dynamic URL, dynamic name, all tracked, and it's all done within this little tag. It's a simple code added to pages or even button clicks, as you can see here. You can use a tag manager like Telium or Google Tag Manager to add it on there. So for all of you techies out there or not so techie such as myself, you can use it, or simply you can just copy and paste it into a code editor for your site. So very, very powerful feature. That is custom events. So triggers, segmentation, and conversion. I'm going to talk about all three of those things in more depth in a second. Now that's tracking custom events. Now what about tracking custom attributes? Similar sort of vein. Now custom attributes are different to events because custom attributes, their two main purposes are used for passing into notifications and also for segmentation. So for instance, a custom attribute could be, if you're a lead gen site or if you're an e-com site, could be something like a zip code. It could be a credit score. It could be a name or an email. It could be a last name. It could be a state, a country, whatever that may be. Tracking custom attributes are how you do that. Now, not only can they be used dynamically to pass in notifications, you can use them to create segmentation. Done exactly the same. Through that little JavaScript tracking, you can dynamically pull data in. I should also give a shout out at this point to our API, our REST API. You can do both of these things through the API if you'd like. I'm going to touch on the API and give a plug to another upcoming webinar if that interests you, which I know for enterprise level clients, they always love the API because it's so powerful. Okay. Whew. Take a sip of my coffee. Right then, Aliases. So aliases are another type of data that we can track. And aliases are to do with server to server integrations or API. Now, for instance, I won't give too much details here, but let's say, for instance, you are running an ESP or an SMS. You can use our aliases to begin track with other people and get that connected and up and running. I'm going to go into this a little bit more when we talk about APIs momentarily. So now you understand sort of the basics, those three sort of building blocks. Let's talk about some real advanced tactics that we can use, some practical things that we can do. So the first one I want to talk about is notification drips. This is a very simple but very powerful concept. It's used in other forms of marketing, and long story short, notification drips. With Aimtel, you can do just drips based upon just send them time intervals, but you can also do it based upon user engagement and interaction. So the most simple and basic way to begin set this up is go to websites, and we want to go to edit, and then we're going to want to jump into MISC settings. Now, track notification clicks and track subscriptions as events. These two things here are the real sort of beauty on this page. I love them, but there is a lot of beautiful things on here. If you've not seen them, just go have a little quick read of them. Why would we want to track notification clicks and subscriptions as events? Well, as we just said, custom events are for triggers, segmentation, and for conversions. Well, once they're events, you can begin to use them for those things. So if you wanted to create a welcome notification or a welcome drip, you're going to need the subscription as a custom event. When we checked the log, we saw visitors subscribe to push. So that's how you do it. And also notification clicks as events. So if we jump down here and we look back in the logs now that this has been active for a while, we can see here, visitor subscribe to push. This right here means that if we set up a trigger notification with visitor subscribe to push as a category in action, we can send a notification to someone who subscribed to push. Another example here, notification clicked. But here we've got the label and the value. Now, just so you know, the label is RSS or manual or even one-off, which is more for internal stuff, but manual RSS, even triggered, which is actually called event. And you can see manual, and then the value, which here is 116.0131. That is the manual campaign ID. So what this custom event is actually saying is when someone clicks on this campaign, a custom event is made for use, for later use. So let's hop into trigger notification here. So let's remember this. So notification click RSS 2289. Let's hop in here to a trigger notification, and we'll quickly hop into just a quick test one here on the back. So this is how you build out a notification, fairly straightforward stuff. And the trigger we're going to want to do is going to be notification clicked. That's very important. It's exactly the same, RSS 2289. Now, what does this actually mean? This means if someone clicks on this notification, a custom event will be made. That custom event will then go through logic checks to check if it's a trigger, which for this notification it is. Once we see that event happen, the trigger will be pulled, this notification will be sent, and if you're tracking conversions, we'll listen for those conversions. You can set a time delay, do all of these settings and whatnot. Why is this powerful? Well, think of it this way. Let's say your RSS is a content feed. Okay, so you're sending content via RSS notifications. Great. But it's not really call to action. It's not really sales. It's not really, something that you can, make money off. So, but you want to only be engaging people who are active on your site. Well, a great way to do that is by testing to see whether they're active by seeing the custom event. So you're sending this notification, and this notification could be far more specific, like, hey, now you've read this, it could be an article about iPhones or something, iPhone cases. This notification could be, hey, interested in iPhone cases? Here's a direct link to our store to sell that. Hey, we saw you clicked on a link for car parts or car wheels, I don't know. Here's a notification about, buying car wheels, car tires, whatever it may be, right? That is how you do it. And the beauty about this is it is all automatic, especially if you're using RSS notifications. Welcome drips. So this would be a notification click drip. Welcome drips. We've actually got two great templates in here that you can use, and it's a similar sort of concept. You set them up and you begin to, instead of using it on interaction, you set it up via time interval delay. Just so you know, welcome notification or welcome drips are by far the highest performing by aggregate type of notification within Intel. So if you've not got a welcome drip set up, please go and do it. So you can see here, this is the notification, this is the trigger, visitor subscribe to push, and you can see the time delay is how we do the drip here. There's one that's 0 minutes and the other one is a day. Another quick little tidbit here, advanced tactic, is emojis. Notifications with emojis in, 85% more likely to be clicked on. So if you're not using emojis, use emojis too. Very, very powerful. Now, conversion tracking. So that's notification drips. Conversion tracking. So there's a few different ways to do this. Obviously, our in-house conversion tracking, so that's using this here, is the most accurate and the most powerful. And that, again, is based upon custom events. So for e-com sites, that could be item purchased. For publishers or advertisers or affiliates, it could be a link is clicked, a button is clicked, linking out where they get paid CPA, CPC. For maybe real estate, it could be a particular house is viewed. They get paid when this house is viewed. For, I don't know, gaming site or a betting site, something like that, it could be when a product or a particular game is played or whatever. You can track that as a custom event. Once that custom event, same as a trigger, you come in here and you define whatever it is as the conversion. Now, a lot of times people want to do notification clicked. However, notification clicks are tracked automatically. You don't need to specify this as a conversion, okay? So this is a false positive. And obviously, if we do visitor, I don't know, clicked or whatever, you can see here, the event category and action have never occurred together, which means that this won't track correctly. So that's conversions. Now, we also have full integration with third parties, different tracking, especially webhooks is the main way we do that. And you can do websites and webhooks. And these are the three things that we pass just by default natively. New subscriber, push notification click, and push notification impressions. And you're obviously going to need a third-party URL to begin tracking those postbacks. And these are all the parameters passed. So if you know about this stuff, we've got it. But you also got great integrations with Google Analytics. So you just simply click this little button here, include UTM parameters, and then it will automatically include those parameters for you. So very powerful feature. Now, aliases. Aliases, like I said, are used for things like emails, for usernames, and they're primarily used to connect your APIs with other APIs to do API calls or server-to-server calls. Now, we've got a webinar coming up on July 30th that is going to be techie, and it's going to be more focused on that API and how to amplify your uses. So, and that is actually going to be hosted by my founder and CEO, or the founder and CEO, I should say, DJ. So he invented it, so he knows how it all works, and he's great at explaining that stuff. So he is going to be running that one July 30th. So stay tuned for more info on aliases and other ways to third party. Personalization, this is another advanced tactic here. So if we jump into all subscribers and we view my subscriber here, jump in here, so you see the aliases, but custom attributes. Now I went in and I added this default custom attribute, but you can track them as is using this tag here. Now, if we go to variables and we do using variables in notification or attributes here, we'll pull that up in the background. And we can see here, this is a great example. Hey, John Smith, you've got 5 new items. And all of a sudden, you can see the power. When you see a notification with your first name in, or a notification with your state you live in, a notification with your city you live in, which things we can all track with the tracking custom events, you can begin to see the power here in using it. Now, how to do this? Well, I've just made a very basic one here. When we click on this little bell at the top right, we can actually just begin to build out notifications. So you can select the attribute here and then the fallback text. So we'll do that like this. And then it'll be, hey, if I could type correctly, hey there. So if the first name hasn't been tracked, the fallback text will show, as you can see here. And then if it is being tracked, it will show as is or whatever is being tracked there. So very, very powerful feature. Why use personalization? It is so powerful to increase your CTR just right out of the gate. You can also use the variables that I mentioned earlier that you can track now. Cart abandons, the ones I specifically mentioned earlier, are extremely powerful. And if you use Shopify, we track them automatically, and you can just begin to use them straight out the gate. I've already showed you how to track them, I already showed you how they look, but yeah, they are so powerful to get those notifications just to that next level and begin seeing the performance. So running quickly through here, the next one is abandoned funnel notifications. So abandoned funnel notifications are similar to abandoned cart, but they're more general. This could be for publishers, for lead gen, for people like that who have, say, they've got a funnel, they've got an affiliate funnel where they get paid at the end of that funnel. Well, if someone abandons it at the second step, you want to send them a notification to retarget, recapture, and regain that potential lead and potential payout. This is how you do it, abandoned funnel. Very straightforward. We've got two very simple JavaScript tags that you can place them, create that trigger notification, and begin sending. It's as easy as that. User abandons a funnel, you send a push to get them back. This is how you do it. And the last advanced tactic I want to talk about is cross-domain tracking. We've covered quite a lot today, and this is going to be the last one. So if you have any questions or anything like that, please feel free to ask away, and I will cover them. So cross-domain tracking, the question we get quite often is, hey, I've got a site at yoursite.com, but my blog is at blogyoursite.com. What do I do? And you know, maybe a lot of your payouts happen on your blog or even store.yoursite.com. Well, cross-domain tracking pixels are simply a way to begin tracking events on a site that doesn't have Aimtel installed. And all it is you want to add a pixel. Let's say we want to do, this pixel is page viewed. So we create this pixel here. It's literally fill out the blanks, page viewed. It automatically generates a script for you. Copy, paste, add it as a tag, do whatever you want with it. Put it on the page that you want to track the customer event, and maybe you want to do blog, lander, or whatever it is. And then the value if they view that is $50, I don't know, maybe like 15, I don't know, whatever it is. And all of a sudden, that is how you do it. Super, super powerful. Remember, push notifications are domain specific. So cross-domain tracking is a workaround. And I mean, we built one in less than a minute. So very, very powerful. So I see a question's coming here. So I want to give a quick recap and then we'll answer that question. So what did we cover? Advanced tactics. So the notification drips, welcome drips, notification click drip, maybe an RSS feed into a trigger notification, all automatic. You don't have to do anything, just set it up and get it going. Personalization within notifications, use those custom attributes, use those variables that come in. Conversion tracking, use the custom events as the conversion tracking, begin to get accurate data flowing in for your campaigns. API and aliases, DJ is going to be covering that on July 30th, but there's no harm in beginning to track those emails right now for use later on. Abandoned funnel notifications. Again, a powerful way to begin tracking and re-engaging those people. Sorry, just went over that. And cross-domain tracking, the lastly. Begin tracking those events that happen on other domains and capturing them back in. So the question I've got here, it's about the opt-in prompt. So can we customize the opt-in prompt? Yes, you can. So the opt-in prompt is over here, and it's got full customization about how you want to show it, custom opt-in prompt, even where you want to show it as well. So we can add conditions in here. So there's a lot of different things. You can even do wildcard with asterisks and things like that, change the priority, change the type of prompt, devices that go through it. You can also jump into the CSS for the actual opt-in prompt. So this has got a lot of different capabilities here that you can optimize it. So I recommend you have a little look at this. Just type in CSS in our documentation. And you can also manually trigger the opt-in prompt based upon user interaction on your site. So again, very powerful feature. If someone clicks on a button, then you want the opt-in to show. If someone clicks on an image, it shows. So more questions on that, please feel free to reach out and we can help you out. But yes, you can fully customize your opt-in prompt. And it's worth saying as well, that is definitely another advanced tactic we didn't have time to cover today. Okay, you know, we've got the sending down, but we want to optimize our opt-in strategy. Begin to customize it, begin to create something that's personal, it's brand sensitive, it works for you. And yeah, you'll definitely begin to see more opt-ins. So thank you for watching. I know this sort of went a little bit over, still another 30 minutes. So thank you so much for sticking with me this entire time. Like I said, my name is Zach. If you have any questions, feel free to email me directly. So I'll just type it in here. My email is zach@aimtel.com. So if you have any questions, just feel free to email me here or at support@aimtel, and maybe a member of the client success team will be able to help you out. It's been a pleasure being your host today, and yeah, we look forward to seeing you on another webinar.